Hey guys, welcome back. So got a new at the drugstore video for y'all today, all about new hard candy goodies. So as you can see, I've got quite a few things in here that I've been testing out. So what I'm gonna do is just run through these different products, show you some swatches, just let you know kind of what I'm thinking about these so far, my experience working with them and playing with them, and just do a fun what's new at the drugstore video. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and start with this product right here. This is the Metal Glaze 12-Hour Intense Liquid Foil, and I grabbed the shade Violet. Now I will say, I really haven't given this a fair shake because I haven't even put this on my face, because I bought this intending to use this on my eyes, and even just swatching it, I could just tell I didn't want to put this on my eyes. It says you can put it on brows, on your eyes, or on your lips. It says it's a smudge-proof formula, liquid foil. It's infused with coconut water for hydration. This intense foil is smudge-proof, budge-proof, and gives up to 12 hours of wear. Glide on one stroke or layer for a more dramatic look. So I mean, I probably would not wear this color on my lips, like very, very rarely. I just don't wear purpley colors on my lips often, if ever. So I got this to use on my eyes, and this really, I mean, I would say, I guess if you would put a liquid lipstick on your eyelids, then maybe you would be okay with this, because I do know people do that, like as liners, so it probably would work in that way because it is a really pretty color, but it just dries down so much that I thought it would feel just crusty on the eyes. So I don't know. I mean, this is probably not a good review because I haven't even put it on my eyes, but even just in swatches, I just was thinking, I don't think this product is for me. That's really like the, you know, the bottom line is I really just don't think this is something I'm personally looking for. But like I said, if you've put like a liquid lipstick on your eyes for a liner or something, you'd probably maybe like this. So it is out there, just wanted to mention it to you, but this is not for me. Then I grabbed this. This is the Fairy Dust highlighter. It says Just Glow, and then I got the shade Fairy Dust 1484. Really pretty packaging. I love this kind of like unicorn, fairy sort of makeup product. I love this sort of thing. So got this, I think this is okay, is how I would describe it. I think the packaging is cute. I love the kind of duochrome look to it. It's pretty like this, so it's pretty to look at. These remind me of those domed highlighters that they have or had, which I didn't super love because they are a drier sort of a formula, so I feel like this is the same kind of situation. So I think if you liked those, you'd be fine with these. I don't hate these, but I'm not jumping up and down excited about them. They are just more subtle, so which is not a bad thing really, because if you want to try kind of an interesting sort of colored highlighter, this is a way to do it where it's not crazy metallic and intense. This is going to be a little bit more subdued, a little bit softer in tone, but as far as texture, it is kind of that drier sort of a texture to it. So I think it's okay. It is pretty on the face. It's just more on the subtle side and not like my favorite texture ever. So there's that. Then I grabbed two of these guys. These are the Glitteratzi Press and Play Glitter Reveal Lip Colors. Packaging is super cute, outside packaging and the packaging of the actual lip color itself. So these are really interesting. These are basically the same concept as the Ciate London, I think they're called Glitter Flips. Actually don't own one of those, but I've swatched them and they seem really cool. So grabbed two of them. I really wasn't going to get these, and then I just thought, you know, let's just give it a shot. Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's gonna be kind of fun. So I first tried this one, and I already had lip color on that day, like not like full on, but a little bit of leftover kind of balm. So I put this on, and so what you do is you put it on, you let it dry completely, and then you press your lips together, and as you open your lips, glitter is revealed. So it's kind of like it's hidden glitter, and as you press your lips together, it kind of activates that glitter, and it really does work. I noticed it especially with this one. What I was gonna say is I was wearing like leftover lip product, so I put this on, let it dry, then did the pressing motion, and I didn't notice a ton of glitter. I noticed a little bit, but it got kind of weird and piecey on my lips, so I'm thinking that it was probably a kind of messed with the formula a little bit by having something left on my lips, because when I use this one, it really performs well. Now it is a liquid lipstick. It does do that kind of there, not there line, which is not my favorite thing. But I mean, it really does end up having glitter on it, which is really fun. And I like this color. I like it's that kind of burgundy, pinky, purpley, rosy sort of color. So really, really pretty. So this one is my favorite. This one is Glitz. So the pinky one is Glitz. The brown one is just not super duper my favorite. That one is Dazzle. It looks very brown on my lips, which I'm fine with, but glittery brown, not so much my favorite. I would rather have something like this that's kind of more of a vibrant fuchsia, purpley burgundy sort of color with glitter. So I actually think these are kind of fun. Am I gonna wear them all the time? No, because you know, liquid lipsticks are just not my super favorite thing. And I won't wear glittery lips all the time, but I think it's something kind of fun. But I would pick this one is my personal pick, but they had other colors as well. And before I move on, I forgot to mention the packaging. It is super duper cute. I love the lid on it, and it is a kind of smaller doe foot applicator. So it doesn't have a little reservoir situation. It's not a super huge applicator, but totally functionally works, and I like it. I really think these are kind of fun. Then there's a foundation, which I really believe has basically been redone, because they've had one in the past that's been called Glamoflage, but this is a different sort of foundation. The other one I remember being kind of more of a serum-y sort of foundation, whereas this one says Glamoflage Full Coverage Foundation, 16-hour wear, oil-free, and I got the shade Ultra Light 1501, which was the second lightest shade. So it says it's an oil-free, long-wearing, super smooth liquid makeup that lasts for up to 16 hours, glides on effortlessly, leaving skin looking naturally flawless without caking, creasing, or fading for hours. Lightweight formula offers full coverage, yet feels weightless and comfortable with added vitamin E, available in a wide range of buildable shades. And as far as the applicator goes, it's kind of like the Clinique one. I don't remember what that foundation is called, but that's got that fat, fun doe foot applicator, just kind of something different. So I think that's kind of cool. I don't really mind that. I can, you know, take it or leave it. So I've tried this foundation several times. This color is a little bit light for me. It can still work, but it's just a little bit too light. And then I've also got some intense highlight going on today. So my skin looks a little bit, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of different sort of makeup. And I think part of it is that the foundation is a little bit too light for me. So that's one thing. But I've tried this multiple times, and overall I'm liking this foundation. I would describe it as medium to buildable coverage, like medium getting into medium full if you add a little bit more, like another layer or something. So that's how I would describe the coverage. Wear time is really good. I don't notice this breaking down. I don't get super shiny with it, so I notice a pretty good long wearing experience with it. As far as how it sits on the skin, I feel like I'm noticing so many foundations kind of just sit on top of the skin versus become one with your skin. This one is kind of in the middle. It's not like it completely becomes one with my skin, but it doesn't fully sit on top of my skin. So it's enough becoming one with my skin that I still like it, but I do notice it kind of sitting on top of my skin, like in this area, a little bit in here. But as I kind of wear it, it's like it sort of starts to sink in a little bit and become one with my skin, probably as my oils kind of mix with it. But if you do have pores, I kind of can notice a little bit of pores when I'm applying it, but I am using a brush, so maybe a sponge would help as far as that goes. So overall, I'm liking it. It's not my favorite as far as how it looks on the skin and how it kind of sits on the skin, but I do still think it's pretty, and once I set it with a powder, it looks pretty. When I put concealer with it, it looks pretty. And I just really like the coverage of it and how it wears. So overall, I do like this foundation. It's not my favorite one I've ever tried, but I think it's a viable option in the drugstore. Then there are some new cheek palettes, so overall highlighter palettes. So I grabbed 2 of the 3. These are the Just Glow highlighting palettes, and I got the shade Glowing by Night and Struck by Light. So cute names, really fun. So let's look at these. So I've tried these multiple times. Let me show you some swatches first. So here is this one on this side. There are those swatches. And then here are these swatches. So we gotta look at the swatches there. So what these are, you've got 3 cream products along the bottom, and then you've got 3 powder products along the top. So let me show you this. So these are cream, and then these are powder up here. So the third one, I didn't get that one because it had more kind of bronzy shades, and I just thought that overall, most of those wouldn't work for my skin tone, so I didn't grab that one. These are very kind of like that unicorn, fairy sort of looking makeup, so they just kind of drew me in. Now I will say, I'm kind of a hard sell when it comes to cream cheek products because I just find them a little bit more difficult to work with. They typically don't wear as long on my skin, so they overall don't end up being my favorite. So I would like this better, I think, if it were all powder products. So I've used these multiple times, and I would say that they're kind of growing on me, and I'm still kind of deciding how I feel about them. First time I wore them, I felt like they faded really quickly, but then the other times that I've worn them, I've kind of layered them and made sure that I put powder on top, and I haven't noticed the fading problems until like hour 7 or 8, which is really good. So on my cheeks today, I've got several things layered. I've got this kind of pinky color, I've got this pinky color, I've got a little bit of this color. So I just layered a lot of stuff on my cheeks today. And I think it's kind of different looking. And then I have some of this one up on the top. Now this one straight up has shimmer in it. So if you don't like shimmer, don't get this one, or just don't use this one because it definitely has shimmer in it. So I think kind of the things that make me torn about these is the cream. It being a cream, I think it's a little bit more difficult to work with. It's not a bad cream formula, but it is just kind of a waxy feeling, sort of a cream cheek product. So that's part of my thoughts on it. And then also these colors are just kind of so light, and it's hard to use these by themselves. That's really what I found. Like today I had to bring in bronzer, I had to bring in a couple of bronzers and then a blush to try to kind of make it look a little bit more wearable. So I think that's part of my hesitation with these two, is that they're just kind of a little bit super creative. So I don't really know. Like, I don't hate these, but I don't know that I would recommend going out and grabbing them unless you really like this sort of a cheek look. If you like that kind of interesting sort of makeup look, I think that they are workable, but there's just other things out there that I think I like better than these. Like if I were going for this kind of a ethereal makeup look, I would probably grab for some other things. Either one of my, I believe it's by Face Candy, the Mermaid Glow and Unicorn Glow palettes. I really like those. Or BH Cosmetics has a highlighter palette that these kind of like duochrome sort of colors, but they're all powder. So anyway, those are my thoughts on these, kind of on the fence about them. And then I grabbed 3 new eyeshadow palettes from them. So let's just start running through each of them. Let's start with this guy right here. This is the Feelin Mauvey. Feelin Mauvey. So I think the packaging is cute to look at. It is a little bit bulky, so I wish it were thinner, but overall I think it's pretty to look at. I think it's cute packaging. It does come with a 2-sided sponge applicator situation. Let me get these swatched. So really pretty. Overall, I really like this palette. I like the tone of it. I think it's something a little bit different, that it's more mauvey and just more cool tone. I love this color right here. It's kind of like a purpley gray taupey color. It's really, really pretty. I have found that particularly this shade right here, which is this top one right here, I have to build up quite a bit, but part of it I think is just the color, like it's just a lighter neutral color. So I like to mix it with a little bit of this. I do have this on my eyes today, but I also have a bunch of other things, so I wanted to like just put all the things on my eyes today. So this is not the best eyeshadow formula I've ever used, but it's definitely workable. I do think you can get some pretty eye looks with it. This palette was, I think, around $9, so I think if it were a little bit lower in price, I think I would be more excited about it. But I do think it's pretty. I do think you can create some really pretty neutral mauvey looks with it. And this is probably my favorite, well, tied for my favorite of the 3 that I picked up. So if you're looking for a mauvey palette in the drugstore, there aren't a ton out there, I don't feel like. So I think this is a good option. As far as the shimmery shades, they're kind of, man, they're difficult to describe because they kind of differ. Like some of them are a little bit more loosely packed, like that one is a little bit more loosely packed, but then this one is a little bit harder. So you kind of have to get down into the shadow. So they kind of vary a little bit. They're a little bit inconsistent, but I use them with some kind of a setting spray and you can totally make them work. So overall thoughts on this, I'm not like go out and get it immediately, but I do think it's a workable little palette that can create some really pretty mauvey looks. Then there's this guy, which is the Look Pro eyeshadow palette, and this is in Earthy Vixen. I think this is such a fun palette for the fall. Just the whole color scheme of it, I think, is a blast. This is really cute, but when I first got it home, this totally fell off and I had to re-glue it on. So not the like nicest, fanciest packaging, but I do like the color of that. I think it's a fun kind of coppery look to it. So here is the palette overall. So you can see it just has that kind of overall warm, earthy sort of a theme to it. There is a nice collection of mattes and shimmers in here. As far as how this swatches and performs, very workable. I think I'm actually, like now that I see it all swatched together, because I've played with this palette several times and I have swatched the shadows individually, but I haven't like swatched them all together on my hand until now. Seeing it all swatched side by side, I think I like this one even better than the Feelin Mauvey. So this one would be my pick of the ones that I've tried out. I like that yellow. I think it's really pretty. I've used that on my lower lash line and it looks pretty. I do like the shimmery shades. Again, they're kind of a little bit unpredictable as far as what they're gonna feel like, but they're all still workable and I always use them with some kind of a setting spray. I do really like the mattes and I think that's part of the reason I like this one more than the Feelin Mauvey because it has more mattes in it. And I really like this color right there. That one is a really pretty matte shade. I just really like that yellow. So overall, I'm liking this little palette. Again, it's $9. You know, there are some really awesome Profusion palettes out there that kind of, you can get these sort of colors in those palettes, and those are like $10 for a bigger palette, and then you can get smaller palettes for $5. So I would still maybe say check those out, but I do think that this is a good option for a fun fall palette. And then last thing I have to show you guys today is this palette. This is the Look Pro Glitter Eyeshadow Palette, and this is called Don't Dull My Shine. Don't Dull My Shine. So it is all shimmery shades. Fun collection of colors, like there are some neutrally shades in here, but quite a few colorful shades. So if you like colorful shadows, there are definitely some options in here. So I've tried this multiple times. I feel like this looks really pretty in swatches, and there are definitely some standout beautiful shades in here, like this coppery shade is really pretty. That purpley shade is really beautiful. That teal shade is gorgeous, but there are also quite a few in here that are like this one, and this one, and this one, where they're just loosely packed shimmery shades with not a ton of color to them and not a ton of like just color payoff on the eyes. Like you kind of use them on your eyes and you kind of have to play with them with a setting spray, which I'm totally fine with. But then when you get them on your eyes, they just don't really pack much of a punch. I remember I really liked their Galaxy palette, I think it was called. I really, really liked that one. This one, I think just kind of, it's a little bit too hit and miss. I would pick that one over this one. It's not completely all a miss, but if you get this palette, go into it knowing that there are definitely, like, I'm just looking at my hand, and if I blow on my hand, half of these, like, are just gonna, half the pigment of half of them is gonna come off because it's just so loosely packed. Of course, I don't have any kind of a setting spray on my hand, but so overall, I'm just not wowed by this one. So I wouldn't recommend this one. I would either go with the Galaxy palette or one of the other two, or maybe a Profusion palette. All right, guys, so those are all the goodies that I had to show you today. So I do feel like overall, I wasn't super duper wowed by quite a few of these products, but I do have some things that I did enjoy. So a quick little wrap up. I do want to say, like, these right here, if you like a glowy, ethereal sort of makeup look and you don't mind cream products, these are an option in the drugstore. So I do think that they are one to consider. You just kind of have to know what you're getting when you get those palettes. I do really like the foundation. I think it's a good option in the drugstore, long wearing, just an overall nice foundation. I really like this lip product. I think this is just kind of like a party on the lips and just kind of a fun time and something different. this color in particular though. So I do really like that. The Mauvey eyeshadow palette, if you're looking for a Mauvey eyeshadow palette in the drugstore, it's one to consider. Not the lowest priced, but you know, a workable Mauvey palette. And the more I use this palette, I really do like this, particularly for fall time. I think this is a fun palette. So this right here and probably this are my two favorite things that I tried, followed by the foundation after that. So that's a quick little wrap up. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed this video, and I hope it was helpful for you. Please hit a thumbs up if it was. Let me know down below if you've tried any of these products. What do you think about them? What are your thoughts and opinions? Ask me any questions that you have. I'm happy to answer those. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.